joining us for another State Hornet broadcast. I'm Christina Mendez.
And I'm Gavin Hudson. United Farm Workers celebrated the passing of California Bill 2183, signed by Governor Gavin Newsom just before deadline. Xico Gonzalez and Christina Mendez report the story.
Hi Hornets, my name is Christina Mendez and I'm a multimedia staffer at the State Hornet. We were at the state capitol where Tom Morello put on an impromptu concert in support of the United Farm Workers activists who hoped to get AB 2183 signed by Governor Gavin Newsom. Morello, guitarist for new metal band Rage Against the Machine, held a concert on the steps of the Capitol where he played a number of union songs in solidarity with the UFW movement on Wednesday, September 21st. He gave a speech before his performance.
50 years ago, the United Farm Workers taught me about sacrifice and solidarity. And 50 years later, they're still teaching me about sacrifice and solidarity. It's an honor to stand here with them today.
We don't appreciate our farm workers as we should.
I just love to see everybody that's supporting. I know a couple people that went out and took snacks and food for when they were marching and stuff, and I think it's just a really great thing.
I think it's great. My parents are farm workers. My grandparents are farm workers too, so it's great to see my culture, my heritage being represented.
To see a lot of different nationalities also support farm workers, and to just see that we're actually doing something for this movement, I think it's something good. And
we spoke with Mark Grossman, the spokesman for UFW, about how Sac State could get involved.
The best way to become involved, to participate, go to UFW.org, the United Farm Workers website. You can sign up for the free listserv so that you can be updated weekly, electronically, about what's going on, and sign petitions and make phone calls and get involved directly.
Sean Valaket, a Sac State student who volunteers for UFW, expresses his enthusiasm for what AB 2183 would accomplish.
The bill itself is about giving farm workers the ability to vote for unionization without threat of intimidation.
Governor Newsom signed the Assembly bill at the UFW vigil on Wednesday, September 28th, 50 days after they started their march from Kern County near Bakersfield. David Tejera Gallegos, another Sac State student who volunteers for UFW, and Sean expressed their thoughts on the signing of the bill.
Finally giving people their voices and trying to actually give them better opportunities than what they're being given at those farms is just so much more important.
I'm very happy. The fact that the people who feed us are now able to stand up for their rights is something that's so important to us as a nation. It's protecting one of our disenfranchised groups, if you will, and it's just leading towards a more progressive future where we are all included and we all have the ability to participate in the government as one.
UFW's fight for farm workers' rights continues. This has been Christina Mendez with the State Hornet.
Dig in, man, hold your ground for Joe Hill and Silas Chavez, who fought in their own time for our brothers, our sisters, up and down that picket line, for the unnamed and unnumbered who struggle brave and long, for the union men and women standing up and standing up.
Thanks, Xico Gonzalez and Christina for reporting.
My pleasure, Gavin. We'll see how this affects Governor Newsom as we approach the midterm elections. Our next story also comes from Xico Gonzalez and from DEI reporter Celine Talavera.
Hi Hornets, my name is Selene Talavera and I'm a staff writer at the State Hornet. We're at the University Union Art Gallery for the Hermosa Rebeldía exhibit where you can enjoy the artwork that Xico Gonzalez has produced over the last 15 years. Gonzalez is a Sac State alumni and is known for his posters that have been used in the frontline for social justice and equality. He spoke with us about the importance of incorporating his political and cultural message into his art.
It's a big part of me. I cannot separate myself from my identity and from my politics. So a lot of the work that I create is Chicano art, art with a purpose.
We also asked him how his time at Sac State contributed to his blend of art and activism.
When I was in Mecha, I used to do all the flyers for the events that we had. And little by little, that mutual, it progressed into me creating artwork, and then we started having like festivales de arte chicanos, Chicano art festivals. And we used to do a Day of the Dead art exhibit at the Multicultural Center. I used to work at the Multicultural Center when I was a student at Sac State. So it provided me with the space to become an artist, to express our culture, to express our politics.
We asked Sac State students their thoughts on the exhibit.
I did have a favorite piece. It was called Education is Our Right, and it was the girl had her fist in the air. I just like that piece a lot because we should not be held back by student loans or the thought of having to pay a lot of money in order to get an education.
I mean, I saw myself in one of the pieces right there as well, so I really like that.
We also asked students about the Mexica blessing held at the gallery during a special evening reception on Thursday, September 29th.
The whole performance, I loved it. You know, I'm not really connected a lot to my culture, so coming to this kind of stuff is really nice. It's really, opening. I feel connected, in a way.
I thought it was really cool. Coming to Sac State, I'm getting exposed to a lot of other cultures that I haven't experienced before, and that was just part of it. And I'm learning a lot about all these different cultures I just haven't seen before.
Gonzalez had this to say about the first Mexica blessing at the gallery.
It feels good to represent our culture here at Sac State. I spent a lot of time here at Sac State, and whenever we did events, we always had a Mexica blessing. I kind of asked last minute if they were willing to do it, and they said yes. So I'm really glad that Eleazar de la Cruz and Danza Xatutli came by and did a blessing for the whole event, and the food too. So it felt good to bring our culture into this gallery.
The Capitan of the Aztec dance group thanked Gonzalez for his support of Chicano causes.
We really appreciate everything you do in the community. You're very selfless. You do a lot of this work, not for self-recognition, not for money. You do it for la causa.
Chicano expresses gratitude to frontline activists in turn.
Rich in spirit because they led this fight and the governor signed that bill. So why don't we give him another round of applause?
David spoke of the importance of supporting cultural-centric exhibits like Hermosa Rebeldía.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have to support. I feel like, we have to support each other, no matter what it is. At first I came for the free food, but, once I saw what it was, it was more than just free food. So I really appreciate the artists coming out. I really appreciate meeting people who march, 300 miles, they said. I think I've read a lot about that in history and stuff like that by Cesar Chavez and everything. But to meet people who are actually doing it today, I had to thank them. I had to, show my gratitude. I mean, that's the least we can do here, is come out and support.
Hermosa Rebeldía will be open from September 26th through October 20th. This has been Selene Talavera with the State Hornet.
The gallery is on campus until October 20th and available for all students. Next on the menu is another gallery.
The Immersive Van Gogh Gallery has come to Sacramento. Christina is reporting with Raymond Purcell and Haley Valdivia.
Hey Hornets! Van Gogh Sacramento, the immersive experience is in West Sacramento, 15th Street. Guests get to see Van Gogh's life work come alive as they walk through this self-guided tour. We talked to an employee of the exhibit, Carrie Lee, and the general manager, Ashley Tapia, about how they felt about the exhibit.
I love that it has a little bit of something for everyone. Our immersive room, obviously with all the projections, you can sit in there for hours just kind of looking at everything. I mean, you get a wide range of people coming in, and I do think that everybody walks away either learning a little bit about him, his three sisters, or his relationship with his brother. So yeah, I'd say it is super meaningful to see people making memories as a family and stuff like that. Yeah.
The exhibit's goal is to bring his art to the folks of Sacramento. They have 11 locations over the U.S., so it gets people from the Central Valley, Reno, San Francisco, all the way down to Fresno up here, so it kind of gives something that not normally would be in Sacramento. Here's a chance for the locals to experience it locally. So, instead of traveling somewhere or going on vacation, it's in our backyard. So, just bringing it in a closer area. But one of the parts that really I think we underestimate is the vase. benches. There's always a crowd right here, and it's kind of you walk by, but if you always walk by, the bench is full of people. There's people with their cameras out. I think it's really not necessarily our highlight, but our secret hidden gem, and people just love seeing it and seeing the show and his art be immersed on it and move, and they can just sit there and watch it.
We also spoke to visitors Ashley and Isabella Backers about their experience with the art.
It means a lot to like see his art in a place instead of just online. It's more personal. I get. It makes me feel kind of like, I don't know the emotion about it. It's like almost like a sad, but like not nostalgia, like a happy nostalgia kind of. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah.
The exhibit is open Wednesday through Monday, and they offer discounted student tickets. This has been Christina Mendez with the State Hornet. The popular exhibit has been extended at least until next year. That's all for this week. For more information on AB 2183, Xico Gonzalez, or the Van Gogh exhibit, visit statehornet.com.
Thanks for tuning in to the State Hornet broadcast. Student news without fear or favor.